Dark Souls 2 is a game that fundamentally at its core really changes a lot of people. It brings out the best person you could possibly be.
Oh, get out of the fucking way! I'll beat your fucking dad's ass!
Now, unfortunately, some members of the media like to paint this false narrative that Dark Souls 2 is the weakest From Software game, or even that it's a bad game. Some people even argue that you should just skip this game completely and never even touch it. This is obviously Israeli propaganda. You'll notice with every single one of these critique videos that is accompanied with the worst gameplay I've ever seen in my life.
Keep them in the game as a cheap way to kill the player as he's locked in the animation, then that's just unforgivably bad design. Of course, I never went for backstabs on purpose, so I didn't mind too much, but I still really dislike that your reward for a successful backstab is death.
It's almost like they're forcing themselves to play the game bad to force this false propagandized narration. Dark Souls 2 is a masterpiece of a game, and anyone who says otherwise is just completely wrong. The best part about Dark Souls 2 is the trailer. The trailer of Dark Souls 2 is a cinematic masterpiece. They could make a movie out of this. Look at the beautiful visuals, the storytelling, the essence. It's truly an inspiring trailer. Now let's go back to see Dark Souls 1 trailer. Ooh, that's rough. Ooh, oh man. Miyazaki, what were you thinking? Oh, that's terrible. Let's go back to the Dark Souls 2 trailer. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, that's really nice. Look at how smooth everything is. Look at how, that's crisp. Look at how crisp it is. Ooh, that combat. Oh. Now let's go back to the Dark Souls 1 trailer. Oh, man. Oh. You didn't even have a budget to make anything cinematic, dude. That's literally just an in-game cutscene. But as you can see, Dark Souls 2's trailer is far better than Dark Souls 1. And for some reason, people argue that Dark Souls 1 is a better game than Dark Souls 2. And really, honestly, they obviously never got to the second half of Dark Souls 1.
What? What? 5 of them? What the fuck? Fuck this shit. Yeah, it took me like an hour to beat one of these fuckers. What the fuck?
The best part about Dark Souls 2 is the combat. The combat in Dark Souls 2 is much faster paced than Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1, you had to like sort of slowly lure enemies out, fight them one by one. In Dark Souls 2, no, you're fighting multiple enemies all at the same time. And it really just heightens the mood, heightens the combat, heightens the experience. It really makes you feel like you're cool and bad to the bone. Now, for the critics of this game, they for some reason like to do this thing where they'll run straight through the entire level and then they'll try to go through the fog gate and then they'll just get, I don't know, raped by all the monsters. And they sometimes argue that that's a flaw of the game. Maybe if you fought the monsters and, I don't know, actually played the fucking game, you wouldn't have that problem. Speaking of combat and, like, enemies, I guess, let's talk about the monster design. Did you see the Haid Knight? Look at how cool he looks. He's just chilling under a tree. That's badass. That's really fucking badass. He doesn't even try to hurt you unless you hurt him. That's really fucking cool. Dark Souls 1, on the other hand, you have this big black guy just standing in the freaking hallway. How boring. Just standing around, not doing anything.
Difficult, which frustrated the most casual of gamers, served to make the game even more endearing to those looking for a challenge. The combat in Dark Souls is amazingly well crafted, and boss fights offer an experience.
The best part about Dark Souls 2 is the weapons you have in the game. Look at how many weapons you have. There is so many weapons, so much to choose from, so many experiences, so many play styles. It's insane. So many, in fact, that the common player would probably get confused and wonder, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what weapon to use. And really, all you have to do is sort of figure it out on your own. Really experiment with all the weapons, try them all out, and really just sort of have fun with it, you know what I mean? Now, critics of this game make an argument that there's too many enemies in the game and that they'll get confused. They'll be like, oh, There's too many enemies. I can't take it. I can't understand. I don't know what I'm doing. When really, they're just bad at the game, and it's a skill issue. If you had the proper equipment, the proper weapons, it wouldn't be such a bad deal. Let me let you in on a little secret. So, when you first start playing the game, head straight through Majula and head straight to the blacksmith. Once you get to the blacksmith, buy the rapier. Just buy the rapier. That is the best weapon in the entire game, and will get you through pretty much everything. All the enemies, all the bosses, it will get you through everything. Granted, there is other weapons like the ice rapier that does a little bit more damage. However, the rapier really is the best weapon in the game. Now that all the casuals are out of the way, the best weapon in Dark Souls 2 is the Great Sword. The rapier is for casuals and noobs. Really, the Great Sword is for true masters of the game. Look at the arc, look at the swing, look at the distance. Truly the best weapon in the game. Not only that, it just looks cool, okay? It looks like something Guts would fucking use. It's just truly an amazing weapon. And not only that, it helps with staggering enemies. It's just honestly, it's a really good weapon. And if you go around trying to use magic in Dark Souls 2, and really in Dark Souls in general, if you use magic, really, seriously, this is a Dark Souls game. Like, we don't use magic. Look at the cover of the game. You'll notice that there is a knight in armor with a sword or a shield. And I don't know if you played Dark Souls, but you're supposed to play as a knight, a guy in armor. If you use magic, you're just kind of, I don't know, a faggot. Really, honestly, you are. I've played through all of Dark Souls 2 without using a single fucking spell. I don't use magic. Wizards and magic users are just babies. They just don't know how to play the game. They're just bad. Really, honestly, that's how it is. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to be reviewing magic in Dark Souls 2, solely because I don't think that people who use magic really know how to play video games. The best part about Dark Souls 2 is the level design. Honestly, I think it's the best level design in the entire series. Truly, it is. I don't understand why people complain about Dark Souls 2's level design. Honestly, they should be complaining about Dark Souls 1. Really, Dark Souls 1 has the Tomb of Giants, okay? That place is pitch black, you can't see anything. You have all these giant skeletons everywhere. You're getting raped half the time. I mean, that place just sucks. It's terrible. Dark Souls 2? It doesn't really have that problem. Dark Souls 2 is just much more laid out, much better in design. Like, you actually can see where you're going, everything's great. It's awesome. Honestly, Dark Souls 2, I think maybe the level design in Dark Souls 2 is a bit too easy. Another thing, this is kind of off topic, but a lot of people who critique Dark Souls 2 say that it's a slow game. And I don't know where they get that opinion from. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know. Like, think about it this way. Dark Souls 2 came out after Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 is a much slower game than Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is actually a lot faster paced than Dark Souls 1. And I'm being genuine when I say this. I don't understand why people think that Dark Souls 2 is a slow game. Maybe it's because of the newer games. Maybe Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring probably, like, I don't know, made them retarded or something and make them think that Dark Souls 2 was a slow game. That's the only way I'm assuming that they think that way. Dark Souls 2 is not a slow game. It's not. It's pretty fast paced, especially compared to Dark Souls 1. People like to complain about how, oh, you don't know where you're going in Dark Souls 2. The level design, it's pointing you in the wrong direction. Characters won't know where to go after they hit Majula. You actually are supposed to go into the Forest of Fallen Giants or the Hades Tower of Flame. But most players will go down this hole. No one's going down the hole. Why would you go down the hole? Even if you did, you would die immediately. And even if you did have the ring that the cat sells, you would still die. Like, No one's going down the hole the first thing they do. Like, literally, you go to the campfire, then you get up, and guess what is literally there's a pathway that has a torch right next to it. It has a freaking torch that literally shows you where to go. Or you can see, I don't know, maybe the giant door that's to your right. Why would you go down the hole? Are you stupid? Like, bro, this is what I'm saying. The people who critique this game, they're just bad at the game, and it's a skill issue. Really, it is. They're the type of players to play Mega Knight and Clash Royale. They're just dumb. They're literally just stupid. They're just bad at the game. The best part about Dark Souls 2 is dying in this game. Dying in this game, your health gets chunked down just a little bit. And now it can go down all the way to 50%. Luckily, there is a ring that sort of binds that to 75%, and I understand the complaints for that. However, if you're dying that much, you're just bad at the game. It really is that simple. If you die more than 5 times to one boss, that's your fault. I'm sorry, it is. It is your fault. The game is punishing you accordingly. And a lot of people argue that the punishment is too harsh. It's too much. I can't take it. Mr. President, I can't take it. I'm losing too much. It's too much losing. I just can't. I can't take it anymore. Grow up. Grow up and just use the rapier. Grow up and figure out your own problems. This is life. Dark Souls 2 is realistic. You are a walking corpse, okay? You're literally a walking corpse fighting a god. What else do you want? Do you want just this massive health bar? This massive stamina bar? Look at yourself in the mirror. Seriously, look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, am I built for this? Am I really ready to fight a god? So yes, of course it's a little bit more difficult. And I understand why people, complain about the health debuff. Really, they're just bad at the game, honestly. Yeah, I never really had that problem playing with Dark Souls 2. It's because I'm better. The best, actually. I would say I'm probably the best Souls player ever to exist, honestly.
I wonder. I think I am actually humble. I think I'm much more humble than you would understand.
The best part about Dark Souls 2 is the fact that they removed the motion blur. Motion blur in Dark Souls 1 was so fucking atrocious that, literally, I kid you not, the frames would decrease every single time you rolled in that game. Like, if you remember how bad the motion blur was in Dark Souls 1, dude, oh my god, it was so atrocious. It would make the game just terrible, absolutely horrible. I understand that Dark Souls 1 was all about, like, sort of this cool aesthetic of, like, whoosh, had this Matrix type of vibe where everything was like in slow motion a little bit, that feel, but it didn't work. It did not work. It didn't work, and I'm so happy they removed it from Dark Souls 2, because Dark Souls 2 is just more clean, more crisp, just better in every single way. Oh my god, it's such a good game. Such a good game. Oh. But yeah, that was my thoughts on Dark Souls 2. Truly one of the best games ever made. Critiques on this game are just Israeli propaganda, forced a Jewish narrative, trying to control the media, obviously. But yeah, people who critique this game, it's just a skill issue, and they're bad at the game. Really got to drive that point home. All their videos have the most atrocious gameplay I've ever seen in my entire life. And really, honestly, in order to play Dark Souls 2, in order to really understand it, like, just play the game and understand that you can't tank every single hit. You have to learn how to roll. And you need to have, like, sort of 3 different types of weapons, if I'm going to be honest. One that does high damage, one for ranged, and one that's used for splash damage. And that's pretty much about it. That's what's going to get you through the game. It's what got me through the entire game. I beat the entire game, by the way. No magic. No magic, by the way. No magic, okay? Don't use magic. If you use magic in Dark Souls, you're just a bad player. You're just bad at the game. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I hope you guys didn't find this video too disappointing. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. The My Little Pony Season 3 review will be coming shortly. I did finish the series. That being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, bye-bye.